Darius ruled the ancient world. His palace in the sand shone like a pearl. His city called Babylon had grown in the halls. Gold-painted lions gleamed in the walls. Now Daniel the prophet was king's wisest man, so Darius put Daniel in charge of his lands. But certain Persian princes wanted Daniel's place. They decided to bring Daniel down in disgrace. Uh-oh. Because they didn't like him. Let's turn the page properly there. So spies watched Daniel all day long, hoping to catch Daniel do something wrong. But Daniel was honest right down to the penny, and as for faults, he just didn't have many. Then one of the spies said, "He has odd ways. 3 times a day Daniel stops and he prays. He goes to his room and gets down on his knees and prays to a God that no one sees." The prince went to Darius that very day, and this is what they asked him to say. "Make this a law that we all must obey. To foreign gods forbidden to pray. All praises should be given to Darius the king. It's forbidden to bow before any other thing." The proud king let the princes have their way and signed the request into law that day. The ink in the table had just begun to dry when his enemies laughed because Daniel would die.
Why would Daniel die?
Because Daniel was going to be faithful to God and still pray. And before the sun had set that day, the spies arrested Daniel as he knelt to pray. "Daniel knows the rules, and Daniel cheated." "Daniel doesn't pray to the king," the princes repeated. Daniel and Darius stood face to face. "I wish," said the king, "my law we could erase. There's only one way I can keep the peace. You will have to go to the den of the wild beast."
Hey, Mommy, it doesn't work.
Well, we're done with this. Into the lion's pit Daniel was led. All day the lions had not been fed. They licked their lips and they began to roar as outside the king sealed the only door. With tears in his eyes the king went away. In the palace's supper grew cold on its tray. Only one thing stayed on the sad king's mind. Would his good friend Daniel be eaten alive?
Why would Daniel eat him?
Because he's thrown into the lion's den and they're hungry. After listening to the lions roaring all night, Darius came running as soon as it grew light. "Daniel," he shouted, "please say you're all right." Then the king himself fainted from fright. For there stood Daniel, alive and alert. Amazed, the king shouted, "You're not even hurt." "Oh, Daniel," said the king, "what a great surprise. Truly your God rules both earth and skies." "This day your God has proved to be real, and before your God my people shall kneel. Your God saved his people, and he loves his own. Let the story of Daniel forever be known." So remember Daniel in the lion's den, a true story with a happy end. For Daniel's God is our God too, and he always watches over me and you.
Me and me.
The end.